All right, what is going on YouTube? Adonis coming back at you with a brand new video. And today we are going to be doing the second episode in my series of following the careers of generational talents. And as you guys can tell by the thumbnail, I'm sure we've got a defensive end that we just drafted. Now I was gonna go through and essentially draft or just like simulate seasons until I got a generational player, and we lucked out with this guy in our first year, which is really awesome because we'll actually get to see him with like current NFL players. I think it's kind of cool. But Casey Haley is our generational defensive end prospect, right? If we go over to his player traits, we see he has superstar X factor, which is, it's kind of rare, right? Usually you would think a generational player would be more of like an 80, I don't know, 4 overall, 85 overall. But I believe this year they could actually start as low as 80 overall and maybe even below that, because I have seen players in my rebuilds at like 75 with X factor. So with that being said, you guys know the drill. We're gonna simulate, we're gonna try and get through a bunch of seasons. We're essentially gonna go from the beginning of the regular season to the playoffs, and we're gonna follow Casey Haley throughout his career, rocket number 63. I do like his swag this time around. I know we changed it on our other guy, but I like his swag, right? I don't think he looks too bad. 63 is kind of an ugly number. You can't win them all though. All right, ladies and gentlemen, say it with me. Without further ado, let's go ahead. We will simulate straight to the playoffs and see how Casey Haley can do in his first season with the Indianapolis Colts. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, at the end of Casey Haley's first season, the Colts went 7-10, which is a big improvement over last year. I believe they only won like 3 games. But let's go ahead and check out the stats from the defensive side of the ball and see how our boy did. Now, Casey only racked up 2.5 sacks in his first season. A little bit disappointing, but he did have 8 TFLs. I will say that's pretty decent based on that like sample size, but we would obviously really like to see him take a step. So looking at his overall, he is an 85 overall with superstar X factor, right? We knew he was gonna have superstar X factor going into it, but he's already the number 10 ranked defensive end in the NFL, purely based on rating, right? Have not really seen production from him quite yet, but I do think, you know, I think he's gonna be a stud, right? I went ahead and changed these. We put Fearmonger, Instant Rebate, Spinner, and BOGO on him. And without further ado, man, let's go ahead. We will simulate to the beginning of the regular season for next season, go over any changes, any adjustments that have been made. Maybe he gets traded, you never know. And then we will go from there. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Casey Haley coming into his second season, 85 overall, superstar X factor. Nothing we don't already know. They did draft one Justice Barlow out of Florida State. We'll check his development trait here, and he's just gonna have star. Nothing for our boy Casey Haley to be worried about. We are gonna go ahead and start him at the rush defensive end position. I forgot that I had given the CPU the ability to just like switch players in and out based on like overall from like rush right end and stuff. So I took that away, right? We're starting at regular left end as well. I think our boy Casey's gonna have a huge year. So without further ado, say it with me. Let's go ahead, let's sim to the playoffs and see if we can't get our boy Casey one step closer to winning a ring. All right, ladies and gents, so the Colts went 6-11. Not great. Do not love to see it. Let's check out how our boy did on the defensive side of the ball. Sack-wise, Casey Haley with a better stat line overall, 4.5 sacks on the season, 13 TFLs. So him and Latu, man, that's kind of a scary combo. And then obviously DeFreezius, DeForest Buckner, still balling out, which is awesome to see. Casey Haley, day one starter, right? Played a lot of snaps, but didn't get in on the quarterback kind of as much as we thought he would. Let's see what his overall is looking like after this season. So ladies and gents, our boy Casey Haley up to an 87 overall. 94 finesse moves is just gotta be like insane. He's the number 9 ranked left end in the NFL. The only thing that I will say is that he doesn't fit the like power rusher mold that the Colts have, right? And so I'm wondering if potentially there could be some kind of, what the hell is going on at running back? But I'm wondering if there could be some kind of, you know, potential issues with the pressure that is not being caused because we're not in a scheme that benefits us, right? So just something to keep in mind as we continue to move through this. But as always, and say it with me, ladies and gents, without further ado, let's go ahead and simulate to next season and see how our boy can do in his third year in the NFL. All right, ladies and gents, so coming into Casey Haley's third season in the NFL, he is temporarily boosted up to an 88 overall, but he is the number 7 ranked left end in the league with 95 finesse moves. That is insane. For only an 88 overall, or technically 87 overall, I feel like this guy's gonna be a stud. Realistically, as he gets close to the 99 overall threshold, like power moves maybe and block shedding is something that we might want to upgrade because his finesse moves are just so high already. But you guys know the drill. Let's go ahead, simulate all the way to the playoffs, and I will see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Colts are a constant dumpster fire. That is what I will say, right? They are not a good team. Not even reaching the playoffs now for the third year, the third season of Casey Haley's career. He is up to an 89, but playing down to an 88. Already the 6th ranked left end in the NFL, which is awesome. Actually, his overall rating's 89, right? So defensively, Casey Haley, again, underwhelming at 5.5 sacks. I mean, this guy should really be rocking and rolling at this point, but sitting behind Liatu Latu and, of course, DeForest Buckner. That is definitely interesting that Haley is just not developing as we thought he would, right? If we go to the legacy leaderboard for left ends, as of right now, he's kind of sitting around guys like Larry Ogunjobi, Felix Anadike Uzama, as well as like Kalijah Cansey, Christian Barmore, Marcus Davenport, Sam Hubbard, right? Which not like bad guys to be around, but I mean, you are a superstar X Factor player. You need to be performing a little bit more. So the question is, do the Colts look to move on at this point, right? He's not getting the production. They're not winning. Something needs to change in Indianapolis. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's simulate to next season and see what our boy is looking like heading into his 4th year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so heading into year number 4 of Casey Haley's career, he is sitting at a 90 overall, of course 89 overall, but boosted up to that. He has 96 finesse moves, which is insane. We did change the playbook as I think it's going to lend itself to allowing him to create a bit more pressure coming off the edge. There is no more DeForest Buckner on this team, right? So we are really kind of scraping the barrel right here with this defense. We do, of course, have a superstar X Factor strong safety that is kind of insane, as it looks like this guy Trevor Leach is probably a freaking beast, right? But I mean, I'm just hoping we can do well heading into this season. I'm definitely intrigued for sure. Without further ado, let's go ahead and sim to the playoffs and see what the Colts can do. So ladies and gentlemen, after the 4th season with a generational defensive end, Casey Haley has 3 sacks on the season with 16 TFLs. What in the world is going on? This defense is all-time horrendous. They are not good. 4-13 they go. This is just like, this is not good, right? The defense is playing terribly. The offense is not getting going, right? Casey Haley is up to a 91 overall, number 6 ranked defensive end, but has never gotten higher than 5.5 sacks in a season. Now, could it be that the scheme change was maybe not it? I don't know. I tried Dallas's playbook because it's like an attacking 4-3, right? We want to get sacks, but like, obviously it's not working. It is very, very interesting. Liatu Latu at this point outperforming Casey in terms of defensive end, just pressures, right? Statistics overall. So we're going to sim to next season, get into his 5th year as we are getting close to starting to hit regression, as our player has likely not even hit the top of what he can do in the NFL. All right, ladies and gentlemen, heading into Casey Haley's 5th season in the NFL, 97 finesse moves, sitting at a 91 overall. Will we finally see a breakout year from the stud pass rusher? God, I hope so, because he has all the tools to be phenomenal, but up to this point just has not gotten rocking and rolling. We are going to go ahead, change playbooks again, because obviously 4-3 was not working at all. We're gonna roll with San Fran's playbook. I feel like I don't know, it might be good. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see, man. I want to create pressure. We've got such a good pass rushing duo with Latu and Casey. Like, it's time to get rocking and rolling. So let's go ahead and sim to the playoffs and see if this will finally be the breakout year for Casey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in his 5th season, Casey Haley finally breaks the double-digit sack mark. I love to see it, man. He finally gets going, and I think we've found our scheme that we're gonna roll with for the rest of this video. 13 TFLs, 10.5 sacks, 64 tackles is kind of crazy, but I mean, hey, man, he's doing what we need him to do. Love to see it. Let's go ahead and take a look at what is his overall. Right, we finished better. We went 8-9 this year, right? So is this team trending up? Did he just get drafted into a dreadful, oh my god, quarterback? Look at that quarterback. That is our boy Tyler Ward, a rookie. Superstar X Factor. What is going on right now? We have, it feels like multiple generational players within this rebuild. Like, holy crap, man. Like, Casey Haley is sitting at a 93 overall with 98 finesse moves. Number 4 ranked left end in the NFL, which is awesome, and finally gets a double-digit sack season. That is great. Is he gonna have a Danico Autry-like career where he just turns up as he gets older? I'm not sure. Stay tuned to find out though, man. That is great to see. Love to see it. So obviously the Colts did not make the playoffs this year, but man, we're looking good. We are looking a lot better. 86 overall team and heading into next season, and I can't help but feel finally good about Casey's chances to really elevate himself over the rest of his peers. So let's go ahead and get into next season. I am very excited to see where the young man can get rocking and rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, in a shocking trade, the New England Patriots have managed to land Casey Haley. And I'm looking at this team, man, and I'm going, oh my goodness, this is such a better situation than Indianapolis. We've got a star right end right next to us. We've got 2 hidden dev defensive tackles as well, right? If we generate best lineup. Like, oh my goodness, man, this team looks insane compared to what the Colts were looking like. We've also got Quentin Nelson on this team, a former Colt himself. But I mean, Joe Alt, for some reason, is on the Patriots now. Like, oh my goodness, man, this is bizarre. No Drake May, but boy, I am intrigued to see how Casey Haley can do in his new home in New England. Very interesting. He is the same overall as we had just seen back, before he got traded. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head into the playoffs and see if Casey can't finally get there with this Patriots team. So the Patriots went 7-10, but my, oh my, Casey Haley really getting rolling here later in his career with 11 sacks on the season. He is up to a 94 overall, the number 5 ranked left end in the NFL with 99 finesse moves. That is absolute insanity, man. He looks like a beast. So the real question is, will he stick around? The Patriots were absolutely dreadful on offense, it looks like, but defensively they were pretty solid. So we will see as we head into Casey Haley's 7th season. If you guys are enjoying this video, by the way, go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys would like to see next. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support on the channel. Don't want to get sappy in the middle of a video. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead. Let's get into next season. So Casey Haley remains on the Patriots for another year, sitting at 94 overall, man. I mean, this kid is absolutely, he's a bona fide stud at this point. Last 2 seasons, double-digit sacks, which is, I mean, I think phenomenal. Had a slow start to his career, but really coming into his own, especially as, he's kind of gotten older, right? Which I think is very interesting. So let's go ahead, let's sim to the playoffs and see if maybe the Patriots can't get rocketing and rolling and get Casey Haley to his first ever playoff game. All right, so after Casey Haley's 7th year in the NFL, comes in at 8.5 sacks, second on the team to Jared Toomer, sitting at a 95 overall with 98 finesse moves. He is going to begin to regress as he is 28 years old. With that being said, man, I feel like this dude's like, he's too good to be just getting 8.5 sacks, right? I don't know if it's the scheme. I don't really know what it is. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out his score throughout his career. here. So Casey Haley, 2010 legacy score, no Super Bowls, no championships, no yearly awards. He's above other guys like Kwity Paye, but he is underneath his teammate in Toomer, and then also George Karlaftis, along with Will Anderson as well. So kind of sitting right behind those guys. I mean, if you are just marginally worse than Will Anderson, I feel like that's probably still a pretty decent career. But I mean, this guy should really, I feel like, you know, at a certain point, it's like teams just got to trade you around so you can try and compete, right? Because going 5-12 with the Patriots is just not the move, especially when you have a pretty decent offense and defense, but your offense is ranked 32nd in pass yards per game and points per game. Like, that's not going to cut it. So let's go ahead and sim into next season and see where our boy Casey ends up. All right, so ladies and gents, heading into Casey Haley's 8th year in the NFL, 95 overall with 99 finesse moves. I mean, number 3 ranked left end in the league. Dude is a beast. The question at this point is, right, like we know he's a stud. I mean, if we take a look at his all-time career stats, he's got 45 and a half, right? He's a very solid player. Obviously not kind of performing where you would want him to, being a number 2 overall pick, but he likely should still have a couple of years left in him. And I really want to kind of see this out to the end until he regresses down to like star dev at like 85 overall. So let's go ahead and simulate to the playoffs and see what Casey Haley can do in his 8th year in the NFL. So 6-11 is what the Patriots finished with, and Casey Haley only had 3.5 sacks. He is really starting to fall off from that peak that we saw around his 6th and 7th year. He is regressing a little bit. He's the number 4 ranked left end in the NFL right now, and he's just not performing at this point. It's like, you are so good, you should be doing better, but you are not. I'm interested to see if the Patriots go ahead and try and trade him after a lackluster year. Let's go ahead and sim to next season. All right, so Casey Haley has dropped down to superstar development. Still has 99 finesse moves, still a very good player, but just not with the superstar X factor abilities that he used to have. This offense does look pretty good. Like, let's get going, guys. Come on now. Defensively, we have a pretty good combo here with a X factor defensive tackle. So, I mean, I expect a lot from this front 7 this season. So let's see if our boy Casey Haley can't finally get rocking and rolling. I want to see him lead the league one time in sacks. Let's go ahead, let's sim to the playoffs, ladies and gents. So Casey Haley really just falling apart here later in his career. 3 sacks on the season, which is not good. Still played 800 snaps, just not able to get into the quarterback, which is so interesting to me. I mean, I have essentially seen power rushers throughout the years be able to really get after the quarterback, but I feel like maybe speed rushers within simulation get kind of knocked a little bit, which, I mean, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Casey Haley just not producing like we kind of were expecting that he would. Still at a 94 overall, actually a 95 overall, still the number 3 ranked left end in the NFL with almost 99 finesse moves. It is just crazy to me that he is not producing at all. Maybe he's coming up against some insane tackles, but I mean, just, yeah, this has been tough for the kid for sure. All right, so Casey Haley is now the number 1 ranked left end in the NFL with 99 finesse moves, still heading into his 10th season out of the University of Texas Tech. We are changing the scheme around, man. Why are we in the Washington playbook? What in the world is going on? That is not what we want to be in. We are going to change on over to the San Francisco 49ers once I find them. All right, so Casey Haley with 7.5 sacks in his 10th year in the NFL, still 99 finesse moves. I am just like, what is going on? This dude cannot shed a block for his life, right? If you literally told him to get by an offensive lineman to save his family, he would not be able to do it. So with that being said, right, obviously joking, but like 7.5 sacks is like a decent year. Taking a look at like his career stats, I think we're pushing about 60 probably sacks total. Yeah, so we're sitting at like 59.5 sacks, which, I mean, that is more at this point than Jadeveon Clowney, than some other guys, as I am pulling up Pro Football Focus right now on my phone. So sitting at 59.5 sacks, that puts him with like Zadarius Smith, Trey Hendrickson, Danico Autry, Shaq Barrett, guys who are obviously still all in the league, but have had good careers. With that being said, I don't think any of those guys were the number 2 overall draft pick, but we'll see if he maybe can't get towards kind of the Matt Judon range, which is the 66.5 sacks, as he again continues to kind of get towards the end of his career. Obviously never gonna hit 99 overall because he just didn't develop enough, to be quite honest, when he was in Indianapolis. I mean, if he could get traded to like a team that needs to win a Super Bowl, that would be kind of nice. So we are really starting to see Haley start to regress here, as he is sitting at a 90 overall, number 5 ranked left end, and he's only down to 93 finesse moves. So his sack production is likely going to be worse than it already was. With that being said, hopefully this offense can finally get rocking and rolling, as they do have a pretty good squad. We just want to see Haley in the playoffs one time in his career. Good Lord, man, please. So the team finished 8-9 this year, with Hunter Kitchen kind of cooking, not really. That's a terrible joke. With that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the sack numbers as Casey Haley gets going with 10.5. As this man, he's an old man, right? He has a 92 overall, technically 91. Still got those finesse moves though, apparently. With that is, I mean, his 3rd best season ever. You know, again, maybe having a little bit of a Danico Autry career arc here with the New England Patriots. Very interesting. Let's go ahead, let's sim to next season and see if he remains on this Patriots team or if they try and get some draft capital back for him. All right, ladies and gents, Casey Haley is still on the Patriots, man. He is an 88 overall, but he is back up to superstar development. 88 finesse moves. This dude is in his 12th year. He is legit starting to become an old man at this point. I'm kidding. He's like 33, I think, or 34. But I mean, I'm interested to see, right? Where does he finish all time? Let's go ahead. Let's sim to the playoffs. See if maybe the Patriots get rocking and rolling finally. Kind of doubted. They're not looking too great, but hey, you never know. So the Patriots finished 7-10. Casey Haley with 5 total sacks, man. Let's go ahead. Let's see where he is at on the all-time leaderboard for left ends. I feel like he's got to be up there. He's just played for so long. He is top 10 in the current NFL, right? He does have a yearly award to his name, which is absolutely awesome. So I mean, pretty cool to see, man, that he's up there, man. He finally got a yearly award, which is great to see. Being up there with a guy like Will Anderson is pretty cool, right? A little bit above George Karlaftis as well. So with that being said, he is, I think, playing at a 87 overall. He is regressing. He is going to start regressing big time coming up in the next couple of years, and that will likely be where we cut it off, probably the year like at the end of this coming year, and then we'll take a look at his all-time stats, see where he is at. But yeah, let's go ahead, let's skip to next season and see if he stays on the Patriots. This has been a long stay. I kind of expected him to bounce around, but hey, I guess you never know what's gonna happen during these videos. And I will say it's more than likely gonna be true that he never actually made the playoffs, which does suck. So unfortunately, I'm not able to see his stats right now, which is just like bizarre, right? Because within the league history or within the league transactions, like the player is there, right? He just retired. Like we can see that he retired after 12 years. Unfortunately, can't see like any of his stats, which is just like bizarre. Like I don't know why they won't just like let me check his stats out. Like I don't know. It's weird, man. It is what it is. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go tally up all the total sacks. I'm gonna throw it in at the end of the video for you guys, and then we'll kind of talk about, right, what does that mean for him, right? Like, where does he rank amongst, you know, the kind of greats of all time that we were hoping that he was gonna be, that he really didn't turn out to be. Turned out to be a little bit better than like a Jadeveon Clowney, but still just not fantastic. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as promised, we are going to compare Casey Haley's all-time stats, right, with all of his sacks, right, to kind of what do the greats look like. And I'll tell you what, he is not one of the greats, unfortunately. So after I finished going through editing that video out, right, this is going to be kind of added on to the end of the current video that you guys are watching. Casey Haley ends up with 75 sacks, right? Which puts him right here with like Chris Jones, right? Some of the other guys as well. A little bit below Geno Atkins, but above someone like Brandon Graham, right? Sean Ellis, above someone like Javon Curse, who, I mean, some of these guys played for a long time and were just like absolute beasts for a while. I think Brandon Graham's actually like a pretty good comp realistically. 73 sacks to 75 sacks. Casey played about 12 seasons in the NFL. Brandon Graham's going into his 14th season. So it puts him tied for 90th on the sack leaderboard of all time. And you know, I think that's honestly realistically like a pretty good career for him, right? He just did not kind of turn out how we were hoping he was going to realistically, but still outperforming guys like Yannick Ngakoue, Mario Addison, right? Joey Bosa up to this point in his career, Matt Judon, Preston Smith, Brian Orakpo, right? Some big names in the NFL. He still did better than overall, right? But he never quite got to even like Osi Umenyora's level, right? Even like Howie Long's level. I mean, Howie Long, like if you got 84 sacks, you know, you would be right there. But I think it just puts him out of range for potentially reaching the NFL in the future. Or not the NFL, the Hall of Fame in the future, which I mean is unfortunate. It kind of is what it is, right? I realistically think if we had maybe transitioned away from the Colts defensive playbook earlier on, he would have been closer to a guy like, you know, Ryan Kerrigan, JPP potentially, TJ Watt, Warren Sapp, like some of those guys, right? But because we didn't pivot away, he did not get the development that those same guys did get, and so he didn't ever reach his height, right? He did have 99 finesse moves, so the production really should have still been there, but potentially through, you know, playbooks, or I don't know exactly what it was, he just didn't produce. That's something that I kind of talked about a little bit earlier in the video. For some reason, speed rushers and finesse move rushers just don't develop as well within simulation. I don't know what it is. I think it's because finesse moves are just like, I don't know, it's a very different stat, a very different kind of specialty than power moves are. Power moves, you've got bull rush, right, which is like one of the best rush moves in the game, and then finesse move users really can't do that, especially with, he had really low power moves throughout his entire career. So, you know, again, not really disappointed. I think it's definitely like realistic to say that it would be really hard to find a guy. I mean, if you found a Cliff Averill type guy or a Mark Gastineau type guy or Javon Curse type guy, you would not be mad about it, right? All time, but he just never had those crazy pops, right? With 17, 18, 19, 20 sacks in a season that we were kind of hoping that he would. So ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I have for you today. I do hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. Let me know if you guys think I did a poor job with this one. I think I definitely could have, you know, gone about doing the video differently in terms of like changing playbooks earlier on, but I just wanted to see, man, it's about simulating the player's career. We knew he had superstar X factor. It was honestly kind of about him just going out and performing as well as he could, and at the end of the day, it was pretty good, but not that great, right? But yeah, I love you guys. I hope you did enjoy again, and yeah, drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought about it. I will be, you know, going through searching for the next superstar X Factor generational player. I think I saw one during that video, by the way, that I might have made a save point on, may or may not have. So, but I do hope you guys did enjoy. I love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.